Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me In Coach on episode 89, Diamondbacks versus Brewers Game 2. Lineup of the day, Marino playing DH, Adrian Castro playing catcher, Max Kepler playing left field, and then I think and then Vargas playing first base, and I think that's pretty much it. The rest is the same. The crazy thing is enough of Loris Grove Jr. Actually came in to pitch hit for Max Kepler, and then bottom of the eighth of the same inning when Gariel Jr. came in to hit. Jorge Barroza came in to pitch run for him and stuff. And then in the top of the ninth, Jorge Barroza played in center field, and Tommy Troy went to center field to left field instead. So that's pretty much it. The switcheroo in pitch hits and pitch runs and outfields and stuff, all of that. Surprising enough, we didn't really get a lot of hits. Fortunately enough, the crazy thing is we actually won a game only with 3 hits. How insane that can be. We won with 3 hits in the whole game. That's insane. And so, because the only people got base hit is Gabe Marino, Adrian Castro, Vargas. Oh, I guess 4 because Loris Grove Jr. also got base hit. So 4 hits. 4 hits in the whole game. That's it. Nobody else got base hit besides those guys. And it's only 1 hit and stuff. So that's kind of crazy to just think about that and stuff. So that's that. And I'm surprised enough we won this game. So I guess just good pitching and good defense and all of that and stuff. And also of enough for pitching wise enough. I literally thought enough Rodriguez was going to pitch. I forgot about Kelly. So Kelly was pitching today and stuff. And also of enough, Loris Grove Jr. from yesterday game and stuff, he did not catch Jackson Churro's home run robbed or whatever and stuff. It was actually Garrett Mitchell is the one hit the ball, and Loris Grove Jr. caught that and stuff because Garrett Mitchell would actually get 2 home runs in that game, but fortunately enough, he only got 1. So that's that. Yeah, so I forgot about Kelly as heck because after I realized we saw Kelly, just like, I don't know about this, but I guess he did good. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, and gave up 2 runs. So not the prettiest of enough of Kelly. His performance in a way and stuff, but I guess it's pretty decent enough to not give so much and stuff, and having us to not really giving the opportunity for the opponent team to take over, but he did okay and stuff. This really hurts me so much and stuff because the starting pitcher for this game is Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers, and he went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 6, walked 1, and gave up 3 runs. So pretty honestly good for Brandon Woodruff. Terrible enough of he only went 4 innings and not 5 or anything like that and stuff. Because he keeps getting injured and stuff. Man, it's just hard to see this guy to be so successful and also healthy in some ways and stuff. And I really like Brandon Woodruff as a pitcher itself. And there's just a lot of good memories of him for the Brewers. It's crazy enough if he's been pitching for the Brewers for so long and stuff, and he's just been having struggles and here and there and stuff. So yeah, it's just like, man, like there's some history with this guy when I remembered and stuff because I really, really have like no chance of seeing this guy, you know, pitch in the in games and generally and stuff. Last time he pitched against the Diamondbacks as well, he also came out the inning like super early of the game and stuff because of something problem with his body and stuff. And the weirdest thing about today is like it didn't look like there was nothing wrong with him. He got the strikeout and stuff, and then he just like was just casually, walking around like what pitchers do after they strike out a player and stuff. And somehow enough, I just see two people walking on the mound and stuff, and I'm just like, oh no, like don't tell me this is another injured and stuff. Like, I really want this guy to be healthy and successful. Like, honestly enough. Like, I wish everybody had this and stuff. But man, it's hard to see a good pitcher back then and stuff, and just keep struggling with injuries on their bodies and stuff. It's absolutely insane and stuff because like really like I because honestly enough, like Brandon Woodruff had great numbers back then and stuff. The only thing I can remember what he did so successful, currently enough what I remember, is basically when the Brewers were playing the Dodgers in the playoffs. I don't know what year it was and stuff. It could be 2018, 2019. I mean, 2017, 2018. It was one of those years. And because I thinking this was also the same year where the Dodgers, like, got to the playoffs and stuff. Who knows about that and stuff. So, like, that's all, like, a lot of things to think about that and stuff. And this was also the time when pitchers were hitting as well and stuff. And Brandon Woodruff came up to the plate and stuff and actually hit a home run off of Clayton Kershaw. You don't really see that very often and stuff. Like, it's so, like, weird to see, like, a bullpen Padre pitcher out of the blue and stuff, and fortunately hit a grand slam off of Max Scherzer and stuff. Like, you don't really see this often so much and stuff, and especially enough of they're not really home run people and stuff, and also they're not hitters, they're pitchers, obviously, and stuff. Like, the person hit the grand slam of Max Scherzer. He didn't even look like he knows what he's doing and stuff, where enough of Brandon Woodruff actually knew what to do. Like, he looked like a hitter at the time and stuff, and just somehow enough he got a lot on the bat and stuff, and the ball just carried out and stuff, where the Padres pitcher hitting the grand slam on Max Scherzer, like, he just, like, kind of just, winged it, just hit it out there, and fortunately it got out and it hit a grand slam, so it's crazy how that is and stuff. But yeah, you don't really see that very often and stuff. Like, you see, like, you remember, like, in 2017 wild card of the Diamondbacks versus Rockies and stuff, and then somehow enough of Archie Bradley getting a triple in the game and stuff. Like, you don't really see that very often and stuff, and that game was pretty good and stuff, not gonna lie, because Diamondbacks did win the wild card in 2017, but then after that we got swept by the Dodgers. But but yeah, it's tough enough of now we don't see that very often and stuff. So I just remember the time when hearing about Brandon Woodruff and stuff. He's having his times and stuff, but when I remember in 2023 when we were facing the Brewers in the playoffs and stuff. Currently, when I remember, Brandon Woodruff was on the team and stuff. He was injured as well and stuff, and he was there. But if the Brewers would actually kept going and stuff, because they didn't, because the Diamondbacks absolutely swept the Brewers two games and stuff in the wild card and stuff. They were going to have Brandon Woodruff to keep going and stuff because I think he was going to get healthy at the time and stuff, but fortunately that didn't happen and stuff. And it just looks like I just haven't seen Brandon Woodruff pitch for so long in 2024 and 2025 and stuff. Like this is an all-star pitcher, by the way, and stuff. And it's just hard to see Brandon Woodruff just have a hard time with just being healthy and stuff. So I enjoy that as well. And just like man, I haven't seen this guy for so long, and he's still having problems, man. Okay. So I hope for the best for Brandon Woodruff. And then bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Jonathan Liska, Brandon Garcia, Juan Morello, and Paul Sewell for his 20 save. Pretty good for that and stuff. And then we're going to go scoring and stuff. We're going to talk about all of it and stuff. There's not a whole lot, but pretty decent ones and stuff. Adrian Del Castro with a 3 home run to make it 3-0 bottom of the first. Christian Yelich with a 2 home run to make it 2-3 top of the 5th. And then Vargas hit a RBI double 4-2 to make it as a 4-2 to bottom of the 8th. And then Jackson Churros hit a solo home run to make it 3-4 top of the 9th. But fortunately enough, the Diamondbacks did get the win, and the final score was 4-3. The Diamondbacks record is now back at 500 again on 44-44. And so we are just back to back, hot and cold of winning and losing. So that is that. And so progress. I would like to see more of hitting and stuff. Like, I get it, we won with 4 hits and stuff, but some ways enough you don't really get this very often and stuff. So it would be better if we get and stuff. And also, how about Lourdes Jr.? I mean, not Lourdes Jr. Torey Lovullo. Absolutely look at what your players are doing before game and stuff. Because to me, enough of like, why did you put Lourdes Jr. in later and stuff, and then having him starting and stuff? Like, Max Kepler just cannot hit at all, like this whole time he's been on this team, and he only got 2 hits. That's it. Just like, the guy cannot hit, and if he cannot hit, work on it. Work with him of getting base hits and stuff, because he's not getting anywhere and stuff, and that's a big problem and stuff. And fortunately enough, for a person to come in and pitch hit for him and actually got a base hit, that's kind of sad. Like, I get enough of like Max Kepler got steroids in him and stuff. Like, not saying that. It's just like he got to show what he got to do and stuff. I'm not saying of like, oh, he should be like a home run dude or whatever and stuff because he has steroids or anything. Like, it's not that. It's just like, you also got to have to put the hard work together and stuff, You're not going to just have him not work because he has steroids and he needs to show that and stuff. No. Like, it doesn't matter enough if he has steroids or not. Just make him work, Practice, work. Practice makes better and stuff. Like, that's how you get better, practice. And work on your strength and not your weakness and stuff. So he needs to, Lovullo needs to see that and stuff, and Velo doesn't know what he's doing and stuff, It's cool seeing Gabe Moreno playing DH and stuff, and then Adrian Del Castro playing catcher. Like, okay, cool and stuff. But it's just like it's this back and forth of enough with these catchers and stuff, So yeah, and then pitching and stuff. It's cool to see Kelly doing good. He got the win. I'm glad about it for him and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't grudge enough of it. Pulsey would need to not give up a home run right away. Enough of when you're literally on 0-2 on Jackson Churros, and you're literally one strike away and 1 out away to literally end the game and stuff, and you just make him as having a home run, like, just what the heck? Like, you struck out Bryce Terang and Christian Yelich back-to-back strikeouts and stuff, and then you literally are on 0-2 on Jackson Churros, and you can't even get him out, bro. Like, good for Jackson Churros to hit a home run, but it's just like, this is the time enough of you don't want to screw things up because you made it more closer than enough than it is and stuff. So for that is get all 3 outs. I don't care who it is. Get the game done. He did, but it's just like he gave a runaway and stuff, and we don't want to see that. So that's pretty much of that. The MVP for today is Adrian Del Castro with that 3 home run in the first and stuff. This is his second MVP on this podcast, so good for him and stuff. And the next game of enough of will be Rodriguez and stuff. And also, I just heard he is in the All-Star. I'm so glad. Corbin Carroll and Arodo Rodriguez making his first time going to the All-Star. Good for him. He deserved it and stuff. And also, happy 4th of July. I'm actually recording this on the 5th and stuff. And literally, the next game it's at 1 and stuff. But we gotta celebrate our 250 years of America and stuff, and I represent enough of State 48 for the Arizona Arizona Diamondbacks, So pretty crazy of how this country comes along and stuff, and we're proud to be American. So that's what we are. America, Team USA, bro. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.